Uncover the disturbing true story of Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia, an aspiring actress found mutilated in Los Angeles in 1947. Her case remains unsolved. Here's everything you didn't know about the woman, the legend, and the brutal crime that still haunts Hollywood. In the golden haze of post-World War II America, thousands of young women flocked to Los Angeles with dreams of becoming stars. One of them was Elizabeth Short, a 22-year-old beauty from Medford, Massachusetts. With raven black hair, alabaster skin, and an undeniable allure, she stood out from the crowd. Locals began calling her the Black Dahlia, a nickname inspired by her dark wardrobe and the noir film The Blue Dahlia. But while the movies promised fame and fantasy, the real Hollywood was far crueler. Elizabeth wasn't a celebrity. She was a girl struggling to survive, drifting between cheap hotels and diners, often relying on strangers for a warm meal and a place to sleep. She had no idea she would soon become the face of one of America's most disturbing cold cases. January 15, 1947. The streets of Los Angeles were cold and quiet when a mother walking her toddler along South Norton Avenue saw something in a vacant lot that stopped her dead in her tracks. It looked like a mannequin, sliced cleanly in two. But it wasn't plastic. It was human. It was Elizabeth Short. Her body had been severed at the waist, completely drained of blood, and posed with eerie precision. Her face had been mutilated, slashed from ear to ear in what would later be called a Glasgow smile. The killer had washed her body, cut her hair, and arranged her arms above her head, as if orchestrating a piece of theater, only this stage was soaked in horror. The crime was so brutal, even seasoned detectives struggled to contain their nausea. The Los Angeles Police Department launched what was, at the time, the largest manhunt in city history. More than 150 suspects were interrogated. Soldiers, doctors, businessmen, even other women were questioned. Tips flooded in from across the country. But the killer seemed to always be one step ahead. A few days after the murder, the Los Angeles Examiner received a package. Inside were Elizabeth's birth certificate, photos, business cards, and an address book with pages ripped out. The envelope had been scrubbed clean with gasoline, no fingerprints. Then came the taunting letter, made from magazine cutouts. Here is Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow. Whoever did this wasn't just a killer. They were a narcissist, a manipulator, a monster who wanted to be noticed. Over the years, countless theories emerged. Some believed Elizabeth was killed by a jealous lover. Others pointed to Hollywood connections, corrupt cops, or sadistic predators hiding in plain sight. One name has stood the test of time: Dr. George Hodel. A wealthy, highly intelligent physician with a disturbing past, Hodel was known for throwing surreal, drug-fueled parties attended by Los Angeles elites. He had medical training, lived near the site where Elizabeth was last seen, and had a documented history of abuse. His own son, Steve Hodel, a former LAPD homicide detective, later accused him of being the Black Dahlia killer in a best-selling book. He uncovered suspicious photos, journal entries, and even secret recordings that painted a terrifying picture. But despite circumstantial evidence, no charges were ever filed. To this day, Elizabeth Short's killer has never been officially identified. As the years passed, the media twisted Elizabeth's image into that of a dark seductress, a femme fatale who asked for trouble. But this narrative was far from the truth. Elizabeth was not a Hollywood starlet or a high-society vixen. She was a vulnerable young woman with real dreams, real struggles, and a desire to be seen, truly seen. She wrote heartfelt letters to her mother, adored the movies, and believed in love. She died alone in a city that consumed dreamers, her story buried beneath headlines and myths. More than 75 years later, the Black Dahlia murder remains unsolved, one of America's most haunting cold cases. But Elizabeth Short is no longer just a victim in a file. She is a reminder of Hollywood's dark side, of justice delayed, of a woman whose life mattered far more than her death. Candles still flicker on her grave, and in every unsolved murder, her shadow lingers, like the final frame of a film that refuses to fade to black.